The Forgotten Cabin. Mark and Lisa had been planning their weekend escape for weeks. Tired of city noise and endless screens, they craved the solitude of nature, hoping to find peace deep in the woods. As they drove down the winding, narrow forest road, the sun dipped low, casting long shadows between the towering trees. Their old, dusty map showed an abandoned cabin hidden miles off the beaten path, an intriguing mystery waiting to be uncovered. The air grew cooler, and the forest grew thicker with every mile. Neither of them could have guessed that this simple detour would lead them into a nightmare beyond their wildest fears. Stepping inside, the silence was overwhelming. Dust particles danced in the fading light, settling on weathered furniture and cracked wooden floors. The walls were adorned with black and white photographs, faces frozen in time. Some smiling, others hauntingly blank, as if staring into nothingness. Carved symbols, twisted and arcane, crawled across the walls like veins. On a rickety table lay an ancient journal, its yellowed pages brittle with age. As Lisa carefully flipped through the journal, chilling stories emerged. Accounts of hikers who entered the woods and never returned, their last known location marked by this very cabin. Each entry grew darker, describing strange rituals and whispers that seemed to come alive in the night. A cold shiver ran down their spines as they realized they had stepped into a place heavy with untold horrors. The sun had long vanished behind the horizon, and an inky darkness enveloped the forest. Mark and Lisa sat quietly in the cabin's main room, the flickering candlelight casting long, dancing shadows across the peeling walls. Outside, the trees swayed gently in the cold night breeze, but inside, an unsettling stillness filled the air. Suddenly, faint noises broke the silence. Soft footsteps pattered outside the walls, slow and deliberate, almost rhythmic, as if someone, or something, was pacing just beyond the window. Lisa's heart pounded as she strained to hear the faintest whispers, carried faintly on the wind like ghostly voices murmuring secrets from the past. The air grew inexplicably colder, her breath visible in soft clouds as the temperature plummeted. A chill brushed past her neck, though the windows were shut tight. Shadows flickered at the edge of their vision, shapes twisting and darting away whenever they tried to focus. Mark's hands trembled as he clutched a rusted candlestick, eyes wide with fear. The silence was no longer just absence of sound. It was a living presence, watching, waiting. Time seemed to stretch endlessly in that haunted room, where the past and present blurred into one terrifying moment. Compelled by an uneasy mixture of curiosity and dread, Mark's gaze was drawn to the hearth where something glinted faintly among the ashes. Carefully, he reached inside and pulled out a small, rusty key. It felt cold and heavy in his hand, as if charged with unseen power. The couple exchanged nervous glances before Mark approached a door they had missed earlier, concealed behind a threadbare curtain. The door was old and splintered, its iron lock worn but still secure. With a deep breath, Mark slid the key into the lock and turned it slowly. The door groaned loudly as it opened to reveal a narrow staircase winding down into thick darkness. The air was instantly colder, heavier, thick with the smell of damp earth and decay. Their flashlights pierced the darkness, revealing walls etched with strange, unsettling symbols, their shapes twisted and warped. The deeper they descended, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. A suffocating silence enveloped them, broken only by the echo of their cautious footsteps. Shadows danced on the walls, and an almost imperceptible hum filled the air, vibrating deep in their bones. The basement was a tomb of forgotten horrors, holding secrets better left buried, and they had just stepped into its heart. The basement was a chilling gallery of lost souls and forgotten horrors. The dirt floor was littered with broken hiking boots, tattered backpacks, and faded photographs, remnants of those who had vanished in this cursed place. The walls, covered with twisted symbols and ritualistic markings, oozed a dark, sticky substance that glistened unnaturally in the beam of their flashlights. Each step stirred up dust and a faint metallic smell that clawed at their throats. Footprints, fresh and unsettlingly precise, crisscrossed the floor, leading deeper into the shadowed corners. A low hum filled the space, growing louder and more oppressive, reverberating in their chests and clouding their thoughts. Mark and Lisa exchanged terrified glances, the unspoken realization that they were not alone settling like a heavy weight. An invisible presence pressed closer, cold and suffocating, as if the very air was alive with a malevolent will. Their breaths quickened, but their bodies froze. The basement was alive, a trap set long ago to snare those foolish enough to enter. Without warning, the basement door slammed shut behind them with a deafening bang, plunging Mark and Lisa into pitch-black darkness. Their flashlights flickered wildly before settling on a figure emerging from the shadows. A towering silhouette with glowing red eyes that burned like embers in the void. The entity moved with eerie silence, radiating an aura of pure malevolence that seemed to warp the space around it. The temperature dropped further, their breath now visible as thick mist in the icy air. Lisa's scream was caught in her throat as the creature advanced, its presence pressing in from all sides, walls seeming to pulse with dark energy. Time warped, seconds stretching into eternity as they faced the living nightmare. This was no ghost. It was something far older and far darker, a predator born of fear and despair. The cabin was its hunting ground, and Mark and Lisa had become its latest prey in a never-ending cycle of terror. Panic surged through Mark and Lisa as the oppressive presence closed in. Summoning every shred of courage, Mark grabbed Lisa's trembling hand, and together they bolted up the creaking basement stairs. The air grew lighter with each step, but the sense of dread clung tightly, as if the cabin itself was trying to pull them back into darkness. They burst through the cabin door into the cold night, lungs burning from the sprint, the forest's eerie silence greeting them like a fragile sanctuary. Behind them, the cabin seemed to shudder, flames suddenly licking the walls as if the evil within was being consumed by its own rage. Trees cast long, sinister shadows, and the faint outline of a weathered wooden sign appeared. "Keep out." The warning was clear, but it had come too late for many before them. Mark and Lisa's escape was narrow, but their terror was a permanent mark, a chilling reminder that some places are cursed beyond hope. As dawn broke, they vowed never to return, carrying a warning for anyone who might dare to enter. Respect the darkness, or become its next victim.